Do Christ or yoga help with union? They're certainly here to inspire you to find that place within where true peace lives. You can do that through the idea of the Christ, which you are, and it is outside of you, also personified by Jesus the Christ, very famous in the Christian churches. You can certainly do so by doing one form or another form of yoga, which is any means that brings you into yoga, which means in union consciousness, in the inside of your heart. It doesn't matter if that is energetic or a body posture or mental yoga. These can help you go to that place that is Christ and or union, and it is the same place. It just has a different name. And in Christ, it may sound like it is personified, and in union, it sounds more like it is the relationship between you and Source. But it points to the same thing. That's one thing. It is a place where you are relating to God. And that is all the same place for all of us, and it is your actual identity. So it's also who you are. You are the Christ. It's a relationship, and you are that relationship. It's union, and you are the Christ. And that is really on point. When you integrate that, you have the right mentality. You have the right consciousness. That'll bring your true twin flame forward in your life when you choose so. And that'll make them stick around you in a romance, in a mission, magnetizing your abundance to you, to the both of you, to the core of your union. That's what that is. That's what can happen there. That's what Christ and yoga mean. That's union. They both mean union. And union means you are a twin flame right there, because you can't be anything else, because that's just the nature of what you are. You are that union. That's actually like the person, if you want to say person. You and them together is sort of one person in that perspective. But then at the same time, doing the Christ thing and doing the yoga thing brings you closer to making that union consciousness come true. But you really need to step into the union consciousness and choose to live that ongoingly forever after, ascending, how they say, more and more. That means transforming more and keep on transforming more and more. And you have to choose to do that together right now with your true twin flame early on, instead of at the very end of the complete transformation. And that's like an extra blessing on top of it. And that's why twin flame union spirituality, in sort of instead of Christ spirituality or yoga spirituality, is some sort of the new place that takes over and is all encompassing and takes inside of itself the Christ spirituality and the yoga spirituality. The Christ spirituality is often relatively more about the fact that you need to connect with the divine. And then everything will come in order inside of you. And the yoga spirituality is often more about the energetic space as an in-between step between you're here as a physical body in the world and the divine. And that in-between step of the energy body needs to be harmonized. And you do that by letting the influence in of the divine inside that energy body. And that becomes so that you eventually experience that you are connected with the divine and that that's all there is and ever was. So where the Christ tradition more points to, well, all these energy points inside of yourself will become rightly ordered and healed, don't you worry, but just repair the relationship with God. That's all. And yoga relatively focuses more on, okay, you just open yourself for that in between step of the energy body, and then you want to have that harmonized. So please open towards source, the universe, God, so that that can happen. And then you'll experience that you are actually that divine background of things. And you experience that right here, right now, with your energy body, with everything that you are as one. So that can be like another taste, some sort of another taste in life, another taste in approach, in spirituality, in educational method. But then again, it's actually also the same. But then again, you actually want to go to like the new top part, which is the twin flame union spirituality. And then that's going to be accessible actually from any path. But I love the idea of the Christ and of yoga, and to see them as both, as like leading to the same thing, but yet sort of still coming from a different place, because they are like huge part of like the world, you know, where they come from. It's like Christianity is more like the Western world and yoga is more like the Eastern world, but it's also become known now in the West, although they think that it's a little bit more of a gymnastics, which is actually not what that is supposed to be as a focus. But I understand that that aspect of what yoga can be, can feel good and whatnot, and there's no problem with that. And like Christianity is actually over the whole world. I like that idea of like East and West, and that they just actually are about the same thing, and they both lead to like the new leading edge of spirituality, that is twin flame union. But you could certainly see that twin flame union spirituality as a sort of a new top layer on any religion or spirituality. And then you want to integrate that. And then you can still make use for the integration of that, when you make that come true, from, for instance, the tradition of Christianity or the tradition of yogic Vedic backgrounds. Why not? It's possible. And you can also use my work because it's actually a new educational method that has integrated yoga and has integrated the Christ and Christian things, and has created a new educational method that actually supports that new level of twin flame union, the level of spirituality of twin flame union. And that's what you can come do with me, of course. And you can do that with me in the year group course that has the doors opened right now. And that's going to be called Twin Flame Abundance Now. Well, it's not going to be called. It is called like that. And you can start right now. There are 3 options within that program, and you can check out which one of those 3 fits you best. And then you can buy that, and we'll just make sure that you become cozy in your spot, in your place, in the program real soon. And yeah, you're going to really work with that sort of East meets West in the middle, in a new way, connected to twin flame spirituality method. And yeah, we're going to experience that together from now on forward, and you will be able to make great strides real soon in your progress towards your true twin flame and keeping them, and therefore coming into harmonious union consciousness, because that's really what it leads to. So yeah, that's totally what I can welcome you in. And you will also be able to go through 24 yearly topics with workbook and like theory. And that is like the yoga of that new spirituality of twin flame union, going through all these topics, because they will be healing and sexuality and twin flame union and money and business and writing and meditation and creativity and, well, name it. And they will be also very practical and daily life topics, because that's what it really comes down to in the end. You will need to change your consciousness, but then you also want to make that come true in all these like segments of life, like places of daily life, like places of consciousness. And you want to revisit all these places of your practical life and bring them on the union level. So I think that's very important to do, because all these places in your life will change. They will get another color. And with color, I mean like another way of approaching it, and another way of feeling it, that aligns with the idea of coming into the consciousness change that is necessary to be permanently with your true twin flame. So that's why I created this for you, and I took a couple decades to do that, and I hope that it's really, that it makes you happy, and that's what I created it all for. So you can start doing that right now. And did you know, by the way, that I do give a webinar that really approaches some secret information about the two most heard of twin flame, problems that you might be stuck inside. That is, they don't communicate with me anymore, and they have another. And we're going to tackle these two twin flame problems in the webinar. And later on in the webinar, I will also be talking again about the year group program, Twin Flame Abundance Now. You can also ask questions about that. So that might be just very handy for you and good to know. And you would be very welcome in the webinar. There are only very limited places, and some are also already taken. So please, when you want to be in the webinar, do so right now. I would only need your name and mail address so that you can get the link when it takes place, and you can click it and just be inside of it. And it takes place at this moment when I record this on Saturday upcoming. That's the 21st of June, 2025. So there you go. I hope to see you inside the webinar. And we're gonna right now leave it here. There's a lot more to say about Christ and yoga. And I think that we will be talking about these aspects more in other kinds of videos, other kinds of live videos, because I want to actually excavate more about some aspects in videos, because I have made Jesus and Mary Magdalene videos before in which I channel them. And I also have made, of course, Divine Mother videos, which is coming to me via Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ. And the interesting thing about that is that I have been speaking about, like Jesus is just a teacher, and he was in harmonious union with his true twin flame, which was Mary Magdalene. And she was just a teacher, and she just had in her heart to be with him and to be a teacher herself also. And they in a way haven't, done this 2,000 years of Christianity. They were just teachers that collected a group around them, and they were teaching them directly, which you of course can read in the New Testament, in the Bible, about some instances of how that went. And he was just a teacher, and there are also other teachers, and they can also be very cool. But he went very deep into this consciousness shift that spirituality is really about, and he's an example for that. And he's like, he did reach something unique in that going inner, and that makes him stand out. But the whole idea of what, like, the power and the powerful force that like ignited the fact that that this whole church built itself up over 2,000 years, and all the traditions that came to exist inside of that was more to bring an educational system forward that would be able to survive when he was not there. So it's in a sense like another beast almost, but of course the essence of the teaching should be brought across. But they chose to have like an educational system inside of that in a sense worked differently a little bit. And that is also because, or like this situationally, that was also because the whole ignition of the creation of that is not only Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Mary, his mother, and Joseph, the spouse of Mary, but also, well, that's already like two twin flame pairs, right? But also John the Baptist, and also Paul. And they sort of created this whole ignition to make that one happen, the Christianity. And I have been told in my experiential field that there's actually more to explore about what Paul has to say about Christianity, because in a sense, I saw this somewhere, I thought it was funny that someone published the idea of that Christianity is maybe more, or well, at least a little bit Paulinity. It's not Christianity, but Paulinity, because Paul had a lot of influence on how that worked. And I think we're also going to like channel Paul, because he came to me, and these are things like I never wanted that, or like searched for it or whatever. And I think we're going to learn more about that real soon, and we're also going to potentially like research more. Well, of course, but I won't be doing everything in YouTube videos. There's also going to be pieces that I like sort of preserve for like workshops and when you come to work with me and whatnot. But I think we're also gonna revisit, well, of course, how all of that actually was only the setup. Almost like the whole of Christianity was only the setup to push us forward towards the 14 Christ Masters that are on earth right now, and also that form, and the ones that form the Master Christ, and also the fact that they are here to promote the idea of the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, and that is where we are like in Christianity right now. And that is the new thing that we have to learn and move towards that one. And we'll sort of talk more about that one too, because I think that's, that's what it culminates to. And that's what, like Jesus was just a man that walked the earth, and he was a teacher, and he was a very good teacher, and he went incredibly deep. And that was his quality. But this whole setup with the multiple twin flame pairs, and with John the Baptist and Paul, and then Christianity, and that just sort of was only to like push up where we are now in like this revival of Well, what we all need to achieve right now, that is stepping into the possibility of this new leading edge of spirituality, and God wants us to all have our true twin flames in harmonious twin flame union. That's what it comes down to, and that's what it actually was pushing forward towards. And it's like a chapter that, like, traditional Christianity looks actually a lot like something that is really supportive for it, and at the same time it can't contain that because it's some sort of a new chapter entirely. Very interesting experience. So I think we're going to in future, like, check out more of that, and we're also of course going to revisit more about the 14 Christ Masters and whatnot. Yeah, I guess so. And yoga, I think we're also going to explore more about yoga. But I have also on my YouTube channel, on the live page, the live tab, there are a whole bunch of live videos of last year, 2024, in which we talk about different things, but also all the time close off with like a yogic experience, meditation with energy points. And that's really something that you could do. And yeah, that's really cool, because that is actually the way I translated the yogic idea for twin flames in my new way. And you can also do the twin flame quiz, and I will put the link after the recording is up below in the description box of this video, and also in the pinned comment, and also in the show notes on Patreon. And when you do the quiz, that's just a really cool twin flame union quiz. Did you know that I have that? I will publish it. I will put the link in. And when you all the way go to the end of the link of the quiz, then you go to the email that is being sent to you from the quiz. And then in the email that is sent to you at the end of the quiz, you see a link. You click that and you come on a page. And there I give away the link to a very special video that is more than 3 hours long of this meditational feeling of the energy points, yogic feeling, but then in a new way as presented in the educational method that I created with Divine Mother for twin flames, sort of yoga for twin flames, right? And I have collected all these parts of feeling together through the energy points in this meditational way, in this healing way, in that video together for you. So you could take a day off and like go through that entire video in maybe 3 parts or something, and have felt through an enormous amount of inner experiences that are deeply healing for you. So if you want that, do the quiz, go to the result of the quiz, have the email sent to you, and then click the link in the email, and you will go to the page where you can find that beautiful resource of more than 3 hours of meditational twin flame yogic experiences. About yoga. So my first spiritual teacher was actually a yogi, but it was in a sense very meditational yoga, and very much, I mean, he was a true spiritual teacher, so he was trying to make you make steps in your personal and spiritual development so that you can integrate your relationship with Source. But we also did more well-known aspects of yoga were integrated in that as well, like energy work and body work were integrated in his package also. And I worked like 2 decades with him and people that were teaching for him. And yeah, that sort of broke off when I was sent by God towards the Christ Masters. But then, of course, it also never broke off, because after that whole experience, I was only ever invited to integrate both the yogic experiences of my first spiritual teacher and the twin flame harmonious union experiences of the Christ masters, and the whole Christian background that was actually coming with that was integrated there as well. And to bring it all together in this completely new place where we just do actually the new level of twin flame union spirituality, but we just stand on the shoulders of giants. That's what that means, I guess. And that's really, really, really the case. And yeah, potentially we'll also excavate more about the yogic parts in the future. It is a beautiful side of things to look more into the energy experiences that can give you a refined mirror of where you're standing in your inner peace and where it is not yet, etc. And that can be a direct mirror of where you're standing in your twin flame inner work, and you need to do that inner work to become more whole as a twin flame. And then as a result of the fact that you are as a twin flame connected to your union space, and they are belonging to that union space, they will heal too, because you belong to the same consciousness. And they will be attracted to you when that energetic work also harmonizes much more. So yeah, we could do more about that. But yeah, just like the rest, that is of course also all completely when you come to work with me, because this is all beautiful and valuable, beyond valuable. But the actual real thing, of course, happens when you step into the world behind the YouTube screen and you become a student, so that you know. So that you know.